G'day guys, welcome back. Today we're going to have a little chat about lubrication. No, not what you're thinking. We're talking bike chain lubrication. Why? Because this morning I went out for a ride and, well, didn't lube my chain up. Squeaky as hell, so annoying. You've all done it, you know what it's like. It's a pain in the ass. But did you know that there are plenty of different types used for plenty of different situations? It's not just a case of rolling up to your local bike shop and grabbing whatever you can find, banging it on your chain and off you go. No, that's surprising, hey? Why would you keep your chain lubed and why would you do it properly? Increases the life of your chain, gets rid of that pesky noise. Free speed, less noise equals more speed. Proven. Scientifically, I have no doubt. Bloody motorbikes. I wonder if he'd lubed his chain. But when we start talking about chain lubes, what are we talking about? Well, you know, they're not all created equal. There are definitely certain chain lubes for certain situations, and you know, you might, depending on what you do and how you ride, there's definitely the right one out there for you. So today, I thought I'd show you my 3 go-tos. Yes, 3. In my world of N+1 bicycles, I definitely need at least 3. Probably need a few more if I was honest with myself. But as someone who's spent plenty of time suffering on the Queen K at the Ironman World Championships like this, or riding the roadie doing epic things like the Grafton Inverell, Australia's toughest road race, or just bombing down hills like this, or what I'm doing now, trying to work out how to go downhill on the dirt, kind of like this. I got to get my chains lubed right. I need all the help I can get. So what I want to talk about is what I do with my bikes and the different situations that I use them in. So I guess I'd start with cleaning my chain. Look, before you lube it, just clean it. It's not hard. Depending on what you lube your chain with will depend on what you're going to use to clean it. My go-to cleaning product, as with a lot of my products, is just the Muc-Off drivetrain cleaner. I like it. It seems to work on everything. I've got one of those $2.50 chain cleaners. Works a treat. Nice and simple, just for the quick and easy clean. Seems to work well on both wet, dry, and oil-based lubricants. Although probably not quite as good on the oil-based, but pretty damn good unless you're really, really picky. So first thing first, clean your chain properly. Let it dry, and then get into the good gear. So what's the good gear? Well, once again, as I said, it depends on what you're doing. So triathletes, most of you guys, well, hopefully most of you guys, you're getting out of the swim, you're wet, you're dripping all over the place, you're going to drop water on your chain at best. Then you're drinking, you're spilling stuff. It's landing on you, it's dripping on your chain. You're probably sweating your ass off. Guess where that's going? The dripping is going on your chain. What you'll find is that certain types of lubricant, particularly dry, won't last that long. So yeah, for my triathlon bikes and anything that I'm doing in the wet, whether it's mountain biking or road biking, if I know it's going to be wet, I'm going to use a wet ceramic lube. This is the C3 wet ceramic from Muc-Off again. As I said, I do like their products. No, I have nothing to do with them, but if you know someone, hook me up. Found this to be the most successful for my tri bikes and in wet conditions. It's easy to put on, bang it on, wipe it off you go, no problems. Last a pretty reasonable amount of time too. Love this stuff in those conditions. When we're in Hawaii, when we're racing in Cairns, this is perfect for those hot, humid, sticky, gross conditions that really just wear the dry lube out real quick. Obviously, once again, you got all that wonderful dripping going on. So, as I mentioned, started playing around in the dirt. Did try all of these different lubricants, and I've definitely found that a dry ceramic lubricant so far has been the best for the dry and dusty conditions. As I mentioned earlier, if it gets wet, not so much. The wet lube is definitely the better option. But if you know that there's a 90% chance that it's going to be dry, again, this is a ceramic lube. It's the C3 Dry from Muc-Off. Does a fantastic job well, what I've found so far. We've done, you know, up to sort of 6 and 7 hour rides now on our bikes, well, pushing, if you've seen my other video. Find this does a really, really good job, and just mucking around on the local trails as well. Alright, so you're looking at me going, yeah, great, that's a $30 bottle of lube, and now I've spent $60 because I've got 2 of them. I just like to ride my bike once a week with my mates around the block, go grab a coffee, duck home. I don't need your expensive lubricants. Guess what? I'm hearing you on that. Which is why you'll find on my road bike and when I'm training, on my tri bike, just a cheap, simple, oil-based lubricant. It's, you know, this one's from the local hardware store. I started using the Singer sewing machine oil that most of us middle to older generational people will have heard of, I'm sure, at some stage. Simple and cheap, you know. I think this cost me $3. I use it all the time on my roadie. I've had it for ages and ages. The only downside, I guess, with this stuff is it just takes a little bit more to clean, but you know, for $3 as opposed to 30 for doing your once a week bunchy or going for a spin with your friends. Look, it seems to survive pretty well in the dry, survives pretty well in the wet, as long as you get home and put a bit more on. It does turn my chain a little bit black, but I'll get into sort of how we can prevent those gross little moments in a moment. But I don't even know what brand this one is. Like I said, I just bought it from a hardware store. Normally use that, like to use the Singer oil for some reason. Don't know why, just do. So, like I mentioned earlier, clean your chain first, then apply whichever, you know, lubricant you prefer or suits your situation. Now the trick is, leave it on for a few minutes, apply it liberally as per the instructions, but then grab a clean towel or rag. Don't grab your missus's towel, she'll kill you, I promise. And wipe it, just run the chain through the towel, get it nice and clean. It doesn't affect the performance, but what it does do is it stops all the dirt and the crap just sticking to the outside of the chain, which then ends up in your cluster or ends up on your front chain ring and makes a mess. It's in your jockey wheel. No one wants that. So make sure you give it a wipe. It does really, really help. Promise, absolutely promise. So hopefully that's a little bit of an insight on what you can do with lubricants. Love to hear what you guys use and when you use them. Bang them down there in the comments. Love to see what other products are around. I haven't tried like the stick dry lubricants, you know, like the old underarm sticks. I've heard they're pretty good on mountain bikes. I've seen them on some of the tri bikes as well. So look, if you've used that, tell me how that worked. Do us a favour, hit the subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate that, and give the video a like. Come on, it's not hard. Just press a little thumb, you know, just a bit of a like. We'd love it. And most importantly, get out there and do something epic. Till next time.